Welcome back to Iron Fist Classic. This is episode 10. And in this episode, we're going over the final issue of Iron Fist, which is Iron Fist 15. This is the final issue of the first volume. There's a few more volumes that come after this. And issues 63 to 64 are Marvel Team Up. I'm going to explain, after I finish talking about this issue, of what happened with the series. Okay? And we have this wonderful cover done by John Byrne. And yeah, this does happen. He fights the X-Men. First, the issue opens up, him taking out some thugs, and beats up some thugs, and he gets knocked around, and he gets sort of a brief confrontation with the Steel Serpent, him squeezing him for the Iron Fist power, as he probably think, because it's explained later. And then we see Wolverine going to visit Jean, which apparently because, well, yeah, he's actually in love with Jean, but she kind of knows that, but not really. So he he rips a picture of Cyclops from it and just keeps Jean in his pocket. And he suspects something is wrong. Like, Misty, are you home? And we cut to the Caribbean, where Misty is actually swimming in this gorgeous swimsuit she's wearing. Yep. Yeah, she puts on a towel, and apparently she's here on the request of Blake Tower, who was a character from Daredevil. Though in the 90s, they made him a complete jerk in the 90s. Well, this guy didn't, where he claimed to know how to do his job, but really didn't. It's explained maybe better more if you read The Trial of Peter Parker. It's a terrible story. Where basically he sends her undercover to take down John Bushmacher. Okay, Danny's sort of kind of against this, but Misty wants to go anyway and says he can take care of himself. And of course she goes undercover wearing this very lovely-looking outfit. Then she goes down and meets up with Bushmaster. This guy right here. And by the way, this little subplot, Misty's little subplot with this guy, yeah, this is not resolved along with the Steel Serpent stuff until the Marvel Team Up issues. And he says hi to her, well, by kissing her, and she's laying down a tear. And we cut to Iron Fist in Misty's apartment. He just takes some food. Then Wolverine shows up wearing one of the oddest costumes he's ever worn in his career. I think he got this from one of the Shi'ar Imperial Guard. And then Iron Fist and Wolverine start to fight. For a little while, they fight over Misty's apartment, and she gets knocked out a window. Well, he gets knocked out when he thinks he's going to kill him. He doesn't know about his healing factor. And then Nightcrawler and Colossus show up. Well, Colossus, when he's not in his organic steel form. Nightcrawler catches Wolverine. Colossus does the fastball special with Wolverine, throws back into the window, and they start up another fight. Fight. And then Storm just quick changes clothes, and she gets hit in the face like, uh-oh. Like, they hit her with some pie. It's like, everyone's like, X-Men's like, uh-oh, you made the goddess angry. Yeah, Iron Fist is like, okay, what just happened? And everybody's like, oh crap, we just hit a pie in the face of a goddess. And then we have Banshee and Moira McTaggart showing up. And then we have cut back to Iron Fist fighting Nightcrawler. And then Banshee shows up in costume for some reason. And then Moira goes up and is like, oh my god. Like, they're tearing up the apartment bad. Yeah, and they all think he's a villain. And then Wolverine tries to slice through his mask, and then everyone is told to stop by Jean Grey. And this is her and Misty's apartment. And Wolverine thought he was a burglar. Jean's like, no. She's her roommate's best friend. And then, okay, and Cyclops like, okay, Wolverine is usually on the clue order. Why? So I had a bowl of soggy smells. So I'm embarrassed. Ooh. All because she was hit in the face with food. So she's just embarrassed. And of course, Jean arguing with her landlord over damages place. Like, like they're gonna be evicted. And then Danny overhears it, says, "You mentioned Randall Magnum," and the guy's like, "I did, young man. What's it to you? I'm Daniel Rand." And he's like, "The Daniel Rand of Rand Mitch? Oh my!" And Danny's like, I'll call the office tomorrow, Gene. You'll have no more problems with the lease. I'm sorry about all the damage." And then Gene says, "It's okay, Danny. It's as far as the heavy work is concerned, I've already got Vaughn to take care of that. Don't I, Wolverine?" And then the issue ends with him squeezing a beer. It's just so funny. What a funny ending to a really good issue. Now, the reason why the stuff gets continued in these next two issues is because Iron Fist, prior to this, had been suffering through low sales, so they canceled the book and moved them over to Power Man, which was a good idea and kept the series going. But before that, they wanted to tie up all loose ends from the series. So the two major plot threads gets resolved in these two issues. First, with Mora Team Up 63, where Spider-Man teams up with Iron Fist. And the issue opens up with him doing some practicing in his studio. And then we cut to Peter Parker in civilian clothes, not in his costume, and he meets Danny Rand for the first time. And he sort of interviews him in a way. Like he's there delivering a note and signed the Steel Serpent. And it has a flashback to what happened in issue, I think it was, flashback to, I think it was like 13, 14, I'm not really sure. And then, sorry, I got an appointment. Any problem? I'd like to help. And then Pete's like, I know what you mean. Like, call me Mr. Parker. Each time Mr. Parker, I look for somebody else. I know what you mean. I'm Danny. You see me, pal. And Peter just rolls out of the building, just changes into Spider-Man. We see Bushmaster's. Now, this is one of the subplots they do advance in this particular issue. The Steel Serpent sub gets resolved the following issue. This is one of the two subplots that was left hanging at the end of the series. One was his Bushmaster stuff. No, it's not Raul Bushmaster. This guy has nothing to do with him at all. And the other one is the whole thing with the Steel Serpent. And basically, Misty is posing as basically is undercover as Bushmaster's lover. Yeah, and of course he's on the phone with some people, and then Misty throws him around. It's like Maya, hit, plan for win. Yeah, then she kind of basically blows her own cover by basically throwing him around. And of course, she knocks out the guys, gets on the boat, and gets away. Yeah, it says Raul is not Raul Bushwhacker at all. It's a complete different guy. Yeah. So we see Spider-Man hitching a ride in a cab. And the guy stops, and then Iron Fist confronts Steel Serpent, not in some shadow. This is what the guy looks like when he's in costume. And he says he had no core, and then he just bows to him, and then they fight. And they fight. And he tries to squeeze Iron Fist of his power. And then Spider-Man gets involved. Of course, Spider-Man gets involved too in this little fight. And he doesn't take all the part, he takes some of it. And then he thinks he's destroyed them. He's about to kill him. And then Misty shows up. Yep, Misty shows up. I think bullets in my place with my man. Who fired bullets? There you go. I have his power and his chi. I have no more use for him. It's not even worth killing him. He walks away, and of course, Danny just soaking. And the conclusion happens in the next issue. And the next issue is like, here's 64. It says Daughters of the Serpent. But it's still part 2 of the same story. They just do this every issue. They change like who he's team up because they added the whole thing with Daughters of the Dragon. Yeah, this is the issue where Misty and Colleen become Daughters of the Dragon. Oh, and by the way, Mora McTaggart guest stars in this. She referred to as Doctor. And I'm thinking, no, can't be Jean Grey. She's not a doctor. This was Mora. And so they leave Danny and Misty alone to talk. And they talk for a bit, like, I'm a doc, not a witch, like that. Like, thanks, Joe Hogan, for prompting. And she leaves. And then Danny and Misty talk, and they admit their feelings for each other. And calling, and apparently Danny has basically wanted to tell her for some time. And of course, Colleen talks to Spider-Man for a bit. So for a few pages recapping how the previous issue. Spider the Iron Fist with his mortal soul. He's just sleeping. And they go out, and then of course we kind of recap his origin, and now we tell his origin story of how he's the son of Liu Kang, the Thunderer, and how he wants to be the Iron Fist. But and they fight, and he yields, tells him to yield, says that he's not defeated. He tells him to go, and he fights the dragon too, but he doesn't get the entire tattoo. He gets like the middle part of the dragon on his chest, but not the wings. Yeah, this is what happens to him. He gets that mark, and apparently loses his eye too, and he becomes the Steel Serpent. And then he runs into Spider-Man, and Spider-Man fights him for a page or two. And then Misty confronts him too. And of course, Colleen confronts him as well, slices at him, they fight, and they bust through a building, and then Iron Fist shows up. Of course, everybody fights, and of course, Iron Fist ends up fighting the Steel Serpent. Says, yeah, losing a few hours left. Says he'll fight him alone. Fights, and then, because the fact it looked like he's melting, so Iron Fist squeezes him so hard the guy turns into ash. And he gets his power back. And he's like, Misty's like, happy he's alive. They make out. He's like, what happened to Silver Surfer? He's like, he's finished. And then Thunder just witnessing the battle, his son's battle. Of course, he lost. And the Dragon Lord basically, he has his condolences for the death of his son. And the issue kind of ends there. Now, for these 3 issues, 15 kind of helps sets up the minor it sort of advances. It sets up one subplot that it's resolved in the first part of this little 2-part Marvel team up. As for the Steel Serpent stuff, that's resolved with the following issue. 15 is a great issue to read, and it's a key issue for the Iron Man history, because this is where he first meets he meets most of the X-Men at this point. And it makes sense for Chris Claremont to bring in the X-Men in, because at this point he was writing the King X-Men series, but since the series got canceled sales, and even though that he was being moved, I'm sure Chris Claremont had heard that because Iron Fist was going to be moved over to Power Man to help that title, the sort of merge of 2000 to 1. So he said, okay, a lot of that happened, but can I tie these 2 loose ends from the series in a book that I'm also writing, which is Marvel Team Up. He was one of the at this point he was the regular writer of Marvel Team Up. He'd been writing for some time. He even wrote that famous issue where Spider-Man teamed with the cast of Saturday Night Live. Yep. So he writes his 2-parter. The first part wraps up the Bushmaker stuff. Kind of unceremoniously, it kind of gets wrapped up okay, but I think the Steel Serpent stuff gets wrapped up a lot more nicer in the following issue. And I do like the fact that Colleen and Misty become the daughters of the Dragon. Really nice touch for them to do that. And in case you're wondering, Steel Serpent, as far as I can tell, he stays dead for years until he's brought back in the 2000s. So he's dead for a good period of time before he comes back. But he doesn't stay dead forever. But he does come back, and he has some Iron Fist power, but he's not the Iron Fist. He's just a Steel Serpent. Okay? So that is it for this episode. Stay tuned whenever I get a chance to another one. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do it on next. I'm probably gonna do some other stuff. I'll probably do definitely his appearances from Deadly Hands of Kung Fu whenever I get a chance to read that series. But yeah, but that's it. I'm also planning on doing his mini series he's had and other appearances he's made over the years outside of Power Man Iron Fist. But yeah, that's it. So that's it for now for this series until I find something else to review on here. So see you all next time. Bye.